All right, time to talk a little bit about the Rockets on two fronts, the postseason and award season. And to do that, we're joined by Joel Blank, ESPN 97.5, part of the Usual Suspects. Great to have you here with us.
Thanks for having me, Wex. Appreciate it.
This time of year gets into both of those topics for the fans. Probably the MVP topic seems hotter than the postseason that lies ahead, but it both kind of has to do with the same thing with those Thunder. But I guess with the MVP talk, we'll start there. First off, is there some other candidate, or is it a two-man race? It's Westbrook, it's Harden.
It's Westbrook and Harden. There's nobody else. It's been one of the most dynamic and exciting MVP races in the history of the league. Everybody's fired up about it. Some people more than others. The Rockets fans are trying to bash Russell Westbrook. When you look at the entire race and the duration of a season, what both guys have accomplished is amazing. So I wouldn't take anything away from either guy. And if they do end up squaring off in the first round of the playoffs like it looks like they're going to, it could be even more excitement and more publicity from a national level.
So we'll start with the outsider. Make the case that Westbrook is MVP.
Well, I don't think there's any question. It hasn't been done since 1961, 1962. So when you're talking about averaging a triple-double, which he's already wrapped up doing, that's going to get you media hype. That's going to get you media attention. That's going to get everyone talking. The voting this year is done by the national media. That is huge because that means that all the hype in the world and all the attention in the world is going to factor into the voting. So I think that's what helps Russell Westbrook the most, and the fact that he's doing something that hasn't been done before.
Now, the same could be said for James Harden. He's not setting the had a triple-double for the whole season, but he's doing other things that nobody since Oscar Robertson has done, or nobody since Tiny Archibald has done. So the case for James Harden.
Well, I think first and foremost what he's done to make this team better after taking a new position on. Going from the shooting guard to the point guard position. Yes, he had the ball in his hands before, but now he's actually the point guard. He leads the league in assists. He's up there in scoring. He's only a couple rebounds short of averaging a triple-double, but most importantly, what he's done for his team. He takes a team that most people thought was going to be fighting for a 6, 7, 8 spot. They wrap up the 3 seed in the Western Conference. They're playing fantastic basketball. This style of play is exciting to watch, and it's all because James Harden makes that engine go.
It's interesting that both teams, the Thunder and the Rockets, were kind of forecasted to be very similar. 6, 7, 8 seed for the Rockets, and that's obviously where Oklahoma City will fall as the 6th seed, and as they get set to see each other for 4 to 7 games in the future. 4 games this year, 3 of them extremely close.
Yes.
Rockets ended up winning 3 out of 4. They blew them out just a couple weeks ago here at Toyota Center. What do you see in this matchup?
I see a lot of Pat Beverly. I see what Oklahoma City doesn't want to see. I see what Rockets fans love to see, and that is a guy that's going to get up in Russell Westbrook's jock, and he's not going to leave. He's going to make sure he attacks him on both ends. He's going to frustrate him. He's going to try and get in his head. I think that from that standpoint, you're looking at a Rockets team that's going to want to force tempo on them, and then you're going to see whose will can be imposed more, because both teams are going to try and take the head of the snake out of the equation. The Rockets are going to try and pressure Russell Westbrook. The Thunder are going to do the exact same thing with James Harden. And so you're going to see 2 teams playing the similar styles of play, but I think the Rockets have way too much offense and way better shooters than the Thunder do. And on defense, believe it or not, I think the Rockets are a better defensive team. Yeah,
the Rockets have been a significantly better defensive team since November and really have been consistently good, even with some guys in and out of the lineup. It's funny, Joel, we talked to Coach D'Antoni before this most recent meeting about how do you slow down Westbrook. He had the obvious answer, you don't, unless he's not out there. And clearly he's going to be out there, and that's really what happened in their last meeting. And that was without Ryan Anderson, and the Rockets still had 0 issue scoring and had 0 issue letting Russell do his scoring. They blew him out.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the key. I think if the Rockets can force tempo and play the way they want to play, in the playoffs it slows down a little bit. In the playoffs teams are going to scheme for you in a 7-game series. They're going to try and take away things you do well. Therefore, there's going to be more pressure on the perimeter. There's going to be at least a conscious effort to try and take the ball out of Westbrook's hands. But I think overall the Rockets are still going to be able to play their tempo in the opening round. They're going to get their shots. And if they do those 2 things, they're going to win the series.
So bigger picture, and I've said all year, the Rockets are the 3rd best team in the NBA. But even to get out of the 2nd round of the West, they have to beat a team better than them. What do you see for this postseason for Houston?
I've said it all along. I wanted to see something before the trade deadline. I know they tried to do some things. It didn't work out with getting one more defensive stopper on both in the post that could also maybe get you a bucket on the offensive end if you weren't shooting just threes. Go down on the low block, get you a basket when you need it. But more so, make sure you could defend, help Nene, help Clint Capella. Clint Capella's a little slight of build. Nene's not ready for long minutes. You saw what Portland did a couple years ago with a concerted effort to go big. San Antonio can do that. They can run a high post, low post with Gasol and Aldridge, That could give the Rockets some problems. Then it really becomes imperative you play your style. Don't let them slow it down. I think the Rockets and San Antonio match up pretty evenly. I think it will be a long series, but I think whoever can win that battle of offensive demands, like whether it be outside or inside, can win the series.
Yeah, those games during the regular season played out exactly as you described. At the end of the game, whoever played better the final 2.5, 3 minutes was winning. It was San Antonio more often than not, but it certainly looks to be a fantastic matchup. This coming weekend, the NBA playoffs begin. A little bit after that, we'll find out who wins the MVP award. From ESPN 97.5, Joel Blank, appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me.